Today is one of those videos where I just downright have to brag and say, I told you so. Now, for those who don't remember, just 9 days ago on July 31st, between July 31st and August 1st, I made a video and I said that Palantir stock is still overhyped trash. Now, during that time, Palantir was up literally like 200% year to date or like something insane like that, like something like that. Like it was up really, really huge. And a lot of people got on me, which I just found so funny and ridiculous because it's like, newsflash, I'm an index fund investor. I've made that extremely clear. Yes, there's some individual stocks that I hold. I've got Amazon in my portfolio. I've got Disney, blah, blah, blah. But overall, I'm an S&P 500 guy. Every 2 weeks, I put money into my retirement accounts, which go into the S&P 500. And then I put money into my individual accounts, which is mostly the S&P 500. And it's just so funny because fast forward to now, and yeah, Palantir's not looking so good. As a matter of fact, let's go look at the actual stock price. So here's the stock price. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Here's the stock price right here of Palantir. Palantir is down 16% in the last 5 days. It's pretty much due to the earnings that just got released with Palantir. And I'm just here to reiterate to you guys, because remember, this channel is all about fighting against the bad financial advice. Remember, that is what we do here. We have a lot of clowns on YouTube who give really bad financial advice, and they truly don't understand how investing works. I'm not saying that I'm the greatest investor ever or anything like that, but I have been investing longer than half the people who talk about stocks on YouTube. I mean, Tom Nash, based on the way that he talks and the bubble and the way he was acting in 2021 and some of the clown stocks he promoted, I would kind of guess that he's probably new to the stock market. Amit Kukreja, he already admitted, which is one of the biggest Palantir shows I've ever seen. I mean, seriously, I wouldn't be surprised if like him and Palantir have like some sort of side deal. Not saying that's the case because I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me. Put it that way. Amit already admitted that he started investing in 2021, right? Me, Kevin, same situation, and a lot of these other guys on YouTube, it's the same situation. The difference between me and them is I would say I have a better understanding of how stocks perform in the long term. I have a much better understanding, I would say, because I started in 2017. Now, I'm not saying I was a great investor, okay? When I first started trading stocks in 2017, I mostly lost money. I mean, I'm just being honest here. I'm not trying to make you guys think that I'm some genius, but the point is, I've been in stocks long enough. Like, I remember, because in 2017, 2018, I was still in college. I remember being in college. There was barely any finance community on YouTube. I say this all the time. There was barely any finance community on Twitter. When you look on Twitter now, you have all these verified accounts. You have all these guys at finance with hundreds of thousands of followers. 2017, none of that. There were no financial influencers. Zero. Literally, I can't think of one on Twitter. There were a few on YouTube, but very, very few. Like Graham Stephan was around during that time. But anyway, there were very, very few. My bottom line is, you have all these people who are still so new to the stock market, they just really don't get it. And I'm trying to warn you guys, because I'm telling you right now, and I called this in the last video. If you watched that video that I released on July 31st, literally 9 days ago, what did I say in that video? I said everybody's calling me an idiot and saying Palantir to the moon and stuff. I said Palantir is probably going to end up going back to between $11 and $9. And sure enough, it's making its way there. And I still believe that. Now, the problem is the people who are caught up in the code. They look at it as, I'm just a hater of Palantir. I want to see them lose money, blah, blah, blah. And even though I may kind of play into it a little bit because you guys started and I'm kind of trolling you, I just want to make it very clear. I don't want to see people lose money. I just want you guys to be reasonable. I don't care what anybody says. Palantir, this 140% move that you, let me see, what's it up year to date? This 142% move that you're seeing in Palantir, it's overdone. It's ridiculous. Palantir should not be up 142%. It should not be up 150% year to date. That's just what it is. You can get mad at me all you want. I don't care because, and shout out to Jesse, Stone Cold Investors. Feel free to follow him if you guys haven't already. I was just on his channel last night doing like we had like a really good conversation, like an interview. And, I was just telling him like, man, people really don't understand that you can have a good year-to-date run or a good 3-month run, but the long term is what matters. And the problem with these types of stocks right here is Palantir is extremely volatile. Because like I told you guys, it's a hype stock. In my opinion, Palantir is no different than AMC. I know some of the Palantir co-people are going to get mad at me because in their opinions, they're like, well, Palantir has good fundamentals. How could you dare compare it to AMC? Look at how the stock behaves as well as the community. The community is caught up in the hype. If you say anything bad about Palantir, you will get destroyed in your comments by a bunch of crybabies who are mad that you're talking about their stock. Like, it just is what it is. And once again, when I first made that video 9 days ago about Palantir, it was up. It was at $20 a share. It literally had hit $20 a share, and everybody got in the comments, made fun of me, said whatever they said. Fast forward, once again, it looks like I'm kind of right. I said that Palantir will not go higher. I said it. I did. Go back and watch the video. I said it. I said Palantir is not going to ever go to no $30, $35, $50, whatever crazy price targets Amit Cookie Monster, Cook Reg, whatever his name is, and Tom freaking Grifter Nash are telling you. It's not going to happen. And it really makes me upset because these guys are going to cause you guys to lose so much money. I'm going to become a millionaire at some point because I followed the blueprint that the average smart investor should follow. I invest into my retirement accounts, and I invest into the index fund, the S&P 500 index fund, VOO, every 2 weeks, while everybody else is gambling. And again, I want to make it very clear too. I feel like this gets missed in what I say. If you only have like 5% of your portfolio on Palantir, then what I have to say doesn't even apply to you. You're free to mess around with a small percentage of your money if you want. I don't have a problem with that. But I know that with a lot of Palantir investors, that's not the case. A lot of Palantir investors are similar to the Tesla investors. They are looking for the big lottery ticket, the big money shot, the big 10X. They're looking to turn a few $1,000s into $30,000. They're looking to turn maybe, $5,000 or $6,000 into $500,000. That is what people are looking for. And the reason why is because we actually kind of saw that happen with Tesla. Like, yes, people who are early investors into Tesla 10X their money. But the problem is it's not realistic. It's so rare. If you look at how many stocks in the history of the stock market have 10X compared to the ones that have lost money, you will see that the odds are not in your favor. As a matter of fact, the odds of you finding another 10X stock are about just as good as the odds of you getting struck by lightning while swimming in your pool. Very slim. The odds of you winning the lottery, very slim. The odds of you getting into a plane crash, very slim. That's the same odds that you have of getting a 10X return. Now, let me tell you what you have really great odds of. Do you have great odds to become a millionaire over the course of 30 years, depending on how much money you consistently invest in the index funds every 2 weeks? You have a much better chance of getting rich doing that than you do putting all your money in the Palantir. That's the problem. Let me go over another thing because I really don't want this video to be too long, then I'll cut it. The other thing I want to go over is I want you guys to understand, anybody who shows you year-to-date performance, they're clowns, okay? Anybody who comes up to you and says, oh, look at the year-to-date, they're not a real investor. And this is why I said I can tell who the new people are versus the people who've been doing this for a little bit longer. Because what really matters is all-time return. And I would say at least 5-year return matters. At least, okay? And if we look at the 5-year return of Palantir, you know what you notice? It's up 68% in 5 years. But wait a minute. Does that mean that the clowns who are constantly getting mad at me for speaking the truth, does that mean that they're up 67% in the past 5 years? No. You know why? Let's look at this graph all the way at the bottom. You guys see that? October 16, 2020. So Palantir basically IPO'd. I think they were actually a SPAC, but whatever. They got listed on the stock market in 2020. When they got listed in the stock market, when they became a publicly traded company, they were trading at about $9, $10 a share. Be honest with yourself. How many Palantir investors can you honestly say their average cost in Palantir is $9 to $10 a share? It's not. You know what their average cost is? And I've said this before on this channel. See that right there? Right there. See that? $27 a share, $25 a share, Maybe $18 a share. Yeah, I'd say some people got an $18 average cost, depending on how much money you put in. $22 a share, $19 a share. That's their average cost. And so the problem is these people bought Palantir at so high of a valuation. They have to hope and pray that Palantir becomes overvalued in order for them to get their money. Now, when Palantir goes back to $11 to $9, I will be making another video saying, I told you so. And it's not to be a hater. It's to try to explain to you that even if you don't want to be a boring index fund investor, that's fine. But stop gambling your freaking money, one, in companies you don't understand, two, companies that are ridiculously overvalued, and three, a company that is up 141% year to date. I mean, holy freaking moly. Like, do you guys not see the bubble here? And by the way, I did look at Palantir's fundamentals. I took a look. I took a look. I get it. You know, when I looked at their fundamentals, I definitely don't think it's the worst company in the world. I will be honest. For the first time in a long time, because I've looked at Palantir before, but it's been a long time. But for the first time ever, I finally looked at their financials. I finally looked at their growth and what they're doing. By the way, the growth, I'm not really too sure about. I think they're growing like 13% year over year, something like that. That's not very good, but whatever. The bottom line is, when I looked at this company, here's what my takeaway was. My takeaway was, is this the worst company in the world? Like, is this a tattooed chef? No. Is this company ever going to go bankrupt? No. Is this actually a somewhat okay, solid company if you're a person who really understands what they're doing? Yeah, it can be. Is this company worthy of being up 141% year to date? No. I really think that that's overdone. Is this company worth $20 a share? Hell no. It's not. Anybody who would reasonably try to explain to you why Palantir is worth $20 a share right now, I'm not talking about years down the road, but if there's somebody who's arguing with you that Palantir should be trading at $20 per share right now, they don't know what the flying fuck they're talking about. And that's why this channel exists. We fight against clowns who give you dumb-ass, terrible financial advice. Palantir is not worth no goddamn $20 a share. And if anybody wants to debate me on that, I'll take that debate. Tom Nash want to debate me? Fine. Amit Cook, blah, 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 want to debate me on it? Fine. Whoever wants to do it, that's a debate I will do. Is Palantir worth $25 a share right now? $20 a share right now? No, it's not. That's why the stock's down right now, because the market knows this. Let's go back to the chart. Now, it's down 17%. The stock dropping while I'm talking. The stock's down 17% the last 5 days. I think it's going to keep dropping. I don't think it'll go on a straight line. It'll take a few weeks, few months or whatever to play out. But eventually the stock's going to, at the very least, the stock's going to go back to $11, because that's really what I think the stock is worth. I really don't think it's worth $19, which is literally what it was just at. It was literally trading at see, it says $19.99 right here. But I remember, because I was looking at the stock. On August 1st, it did hit $20 briefly. The chart's not showing it, but it did hit $20. My bottom line, folks, is if you like Palantir, I really don't mind it. I'm really just trying to explain that you got to be careful getting caught up in the hype. You have to be careful, because I'm telling you, the stock market is not fun and games. Sure, the little year-to-date playtime, happy time, whatever you guys want to do, sure, that can be fun. I get it, whatever. You know, playing around, oh my God, I'm up 140% year-to-date. Remember, that doesn't matter. You know what matters? See this max right here? All time. That's what matters. You know what my returns are going to be all time? By the time I turn age 50, I'm 28 right now. By the time I turn age 50, my all-time return is going to be higher than most of these people on YouTube. My all-time return is going to be higher than the Mids. My all-time return is going to be higher than Tom Nash's. My all-time return is going to be higher than all the people who get caught up in these stock codes. MMTLP, Palantir, AMC, whatever. Because I invest the correct way. I'm not saying you can't be risky. You can be risky if you want. But the problem is, you guys really aren't investing. You're just gambling. If you're buying Palantir at $19, $20, you're gambling. If you're listening to a 22-year-old YouTuber, which Amit, he's really young. I'm 28. Amit's like freaking like 24 or something. Like, why are you taking stock advice from a kid? He's a freaking kid. Like, it really blows my mind. You're taking stock advice from a child. And he lives with his mom. Like, I mean, I'm just being honest. I get it. He's Indian. That's a part of their culture. Whatever, but I just personally think you should take your advice from a grown man who gives actual sound advice and can actually prove to you that their all-time returns are worth it. That's all I'm saying. Because I'm telling you right now, the reason why I really don't like Amit and what he's doing is because he's made it clear numerous times that he has like 60, 70% of his portfolio in one stock, which is Palantir. I can't even begin to explain to you guys how dumb that is. I don't care if it's Apple. Well, actually, I can't say I don't care if it's Apple because Warren Buffett does it. But again, that's Warren Buffett. Remember that. So that's different. But the bottom line is, you never want to put half your portfolio in one stock. And at the very least, even if he put half his portfolio in one stock and that stock happened to be Apple, that would still be better than this. I mean, in my personal opinion, like I said, Palantir is not the worst company. I took a look. It really isn't that bad. I personally don't understand it, so I would never invest in it because I just don't really understand it. Maybe you guys do. Whatever. Either way, the fundamentals to me does not say $20 a share. It doesn't. That's why the stock is correcting, okay? And it's going to continue to correct. So, oh, man. I'm telling you, y'all about to make me start getting gray hairs up in here. Dealing with y'all is a piece of work, man. You would not expect the finance community to be this ridiculous, but it really is. And the sad part is it's gotten worse. It wasn't like this in 2017. When I was investing in 2017, 2018, like I said, I was an idiot because I just started. So I was just buying whatever. I didn't know anything. But I was still doing it. When I was investing, you didn't see the amount of gambling and clown world that you see now. You really didn't. Everybody was a lot more reasonable back then. People were still buying individual stocks. Index funds were not really the thing. I would say index funds are more popular now than they were back then. Back then, individual stocks were very popular. They were. They really were. They really were. I remember Tesla was a big deal even back then. And, I'm just rambling at this point. But anyway, if you made it to this part of the video, this is like a freaking 20-minute video. But if you made it this far, you're a real supporter. I appreciate you. I'm just rambling. But, yeah, and the reason why I'm rambling so much about this is because it really is upsetting to see how much the stock market has changed. And I feel like nobody really understands that all the people who put money into their 401k, which their 401k just goes into an S&P 500 index fund, their 401ks are going to outperform everybody. Like my 401k, my Roth IRA is going to outperform everybody because the S&P 500 is going to outperform everybody. And if Palantir becomes that generational stock, fine, great, congratulations, whatever. But the problem is the odds are so stacked against you. Like just whenever you think of Palantir and you think 10x in your mind, I need you to remember this. You have a better chance of getting struck by lightning while swimming in your swimming pool than you do of Palantir 10xing from here. Yes, I said it because it's true. Look it up. You know what else is interesting? I have a tremendously better chance of getting rich and building wealth over the long term by having 100% of my portfolio in the S&P 500 than you do having 70% of your portfolio in Palantir. That's all I'm trying to say, folks. Okay? Man. I know this is a long video, but I just really want you guys to just understand the emotion. I mean, it's so frustrating being in the finance community and seeing this, especially when you know what's going to happen. It's so frustrating because I already know what's going to happen. Palantir is not going to 10x, man. It's just not. And it's sad because you feel so bad because so many people are going to lose money. And I had this conversation with Jesse last night. Again, shout out to Jesse with a Stone Cold Investors YouTube channel. Follow him. I had this conversation with him last night. The saddest thing about all this is because people make such bad decisions and they're so greedy and they're just, some of the things that they do when it comes to investing is just so dumb. We're in a situation now where majority of people who are investing today are going to work until they die. They're going to be 80 years old still having to work because they don't have enough for retirement. You think Amit's going to have enough for retirement? And I hate to crap on the kid. I know he's young. I get it. But I'm just asking you a serious question. Do you really think that Amit Kukrila is going to have enough money to retire by the time he's 65 or 70 or 80? Not if you keep putting 70% of your portfolio in Palantir, no. Now, I don't know his other investments. Maybe he's got retirement accounts and he consistently invests in them, fine. But I just need you guys to understand that playtime is really over. Because I'm telling you right now, for people like me who's 28 and folks who are relatively around my age, we're not going to have Social Security. Look it up. We won't have it. So what are you going to do? And Social Security don't pay much anyway, by the way. My grandfather, I know how much my grandfather makes in Social Security checks. It ain't much. Social Security don't pay much. So you don't want to rely on that anyway. You want to have retirement. You want to have wealth so when you're older, you can enjoy life and do, whatever it is you want to do. And for those who say, oh, but I want to enjoy life now, what does your brother Echoes always tell you? If you want to be rich now in your 20s and 30s while you're young and live on the beach and be rich and all that, okay, figure out a way to increase your income. You better start dribbling a basketball. You better figure out a way to get good at basketball. You better figure out a way to get good at rapping or singing. You better figure out a way to start a business. You better figure out how to code. You better go to law school. You better become a doctor. You have to find a career that pays good money if you want to be rich now. This gambling foolishness will never get you there. And that is what we try to teach on this channel. All right, I'm finally done talking. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one.